Hello, welcome to Digital Camera Magazine tutorial. I'm Sean Weston, and today I'm going to help you recreate this image from a very muddy, poor looking shot to this quite outstanding representation using toning, color toning. We're going to alter contrast, brightness, vibrance, that sort of thing. We're going to use two pieces of software, and the first one will be Adobe Camera Raw, and then we'll be in Photoshop CS3. So let's come out of this little preview I've got for you here, and let's open with Photoshop. Now this isn't going to open Photoshop, it's going to open Adobe Camera Raw. The first thing we're going to do is use the white balance tool to sort of get away from this muddiness, this overall muddiness, and we need a foundation to start with. So if you go up to a toolbar at the top and click on the white balance tool, and we want to select a neutral area. So keeping a close eye on the histogram over here, and this is the shadow area on the left here. We want to click sort of a neutral area. I'm going to pick the sky, and we're going to go to quite a dark area of the sky right here in the top left. Click that. You can already see the whole color tone of the image has changed dramatically. However, it looks a bit warm, so we need to cool that down, and how we're going to do that is with the temperature. So over on the right hand side here in the basic palette, we're going to bring the temperature slider down. Can you see the image changing? It's getting a lot cooler. That's too cool. Let's take it to around about there, 5400 in the temperature box. Now we're going to alter the shadow clipping, and we're going to do that by increasing the exposure. So over in the box here, let's increase the exposure. Let's make it very bright. Don't worry about this going too bright. I can see you looking at the histogram in my psychic abilities, and the histogram shows a lot of highlight clipping here, but don't worry about that at all. It adds to the final effect that we're looking to achieve. So the exposure is up to 1.85. Now we need to make some tweaks to improve the overall contrast and clarity of the image, and we're going to do that with, strangely enough, the contrast tool. It's at plus 25 right now, but we're actually going to reduce that to plus 10. And the clarity, we're going to pop that up to around about 20. You can already see the image changing. Let's take the vibrant slider up. Keep an eye on the image as you do this. We're going to take this right up to 40. Okay, we've laid the foundations of our image, and now we're going to open that in Photoshop. So down at the bottom right, open as a normal image, and this should now open it in CS3. Okay, here we go. Right, we're at 33.33%. I think I want to, yeah, 25. Yeah, we can see the whole image at 33. That's good. Alright, so now we get to work. We're going to first of all crop it. So I'm just going to drag that out, because we don't need all this. We don't need all this water in front. So in the left hand palette, just grab your crop tool. Make sure you can see the whole image in your screen. I've got mine at 33.33%. If you need to alter that, then go ahead and do it now, but you must see the whole image. Okay, let's use the crop tool. Let's see where we want to crop here. Alright, I kind of like the widescreen effect, so let's bring that up. Quite like having the sky there. Bring it up a little bit more. That'll do me. Double click to accept the crop, and there we have it. Now what's this on the right hand side here? Let's bring that completely out. I'm going to redo that crop and take away that green stripe. Accept the change, and there we go. Okay, back at 33%, I can see the whole picture in front of me. Now we're going to play around with the sky. We're going to add a new sky to this. So what we need to do first is to go to the left hand column and select Quick Selection Tool, and drag your Quick Selection Tool. Doesn't matter what the size of your brush is for this, because we don't need to be absolutely accurate, and you'll see why in a second. You could zoom in right now while you're still selected, and you'll notice things like this tower. It's not picked up by the selection tool, neither are these spires, and a little bit further on you can see the rooftops here. They're not picked up by it, but it really doesn't matter. But if you're a stickler for detail, as I sometimes am, you can click the Alt button while you're still in quick selection mode and simply add like that, and it will pick her up. And you see, you probably need to get a little bit of the dome there. It doesn't have to be accurate, but you know what, it really doesn't matter for this instance, and you'll see why in a few moments. Let's take that right back down so we can see the whole canvas. Okay, I'm quickly going to do something that's available on the Mac, which is an expose thing, so please don't worry that something's exploding. But I'm going to find my digital camera folder, and I'm going to open Cloud 4. Open with Photoshop. And here we have our picture of clouds. Now, we need to select all. You could do this by going to the menu and select all, or the very quick shortcut is Control A or Command A, and then you want to do a copy, so that's Command or Control C, and then you can close this. We don't need it anymore. And now we're right back into our original image, and you need to go to Edit and Paste Into. The shortcut for this is Shift Command and V, Shift Control and V. And there we have it. There's our sky. It looks totally ridiculous at the moment. It looks almost like a poor HDR image, but we're not going to worry about that because we're going to drop the opacity right down to 50%, so it's more in line with the rest of the image. And there we have it. Okay, so we have a new sky. We've altered the general color tone and foundations of our image of Vienna. Now we're going to go to work on making toning adjustments. So first thing we need to do is make an adjustment layer, and this is where we do it right down in the box here, and we need to go to Gradient Map. Click on Gradient Map and you'll see this amazing color. Don't worry about this, this is just the colors I happen to have. As you'll notice in my palette on the left hand side at the moment, you'll probably have a completely different sort of result if you have different colors there, but don't worry about it. We need to click now, gradient used for grayscale mapping right inside the box, and this will bring up the gradient editor. And you'll notice these sliders right here. The top ones we're not going to worry about. These are for opacity. If I just leave my mouse hanging over there, it will tell you that's an opacity stop. This one is also an opacity stop. But underneath, these are color stops, and these are the ones that we're going to adjust. So first thing we need to do is double click on one of these on the left hand side, and in the H value for hue put a 0, in the S value put a 0, and in the B value for brightness put a 0. That should take it to absolute black. I should also mention that if this isn't working for you right now, it's very possible that you've got only web colors turned on. I'm going to click that and show you only web colors turned on. You need to have it turned off. So have that box unchecked and then make your adjustments to 0, 0, 0 in HSB. Press OK. Now we need to go to the bottom right hand corner and double click right inside there. In the H we go to 0, in the S we go to 0, but leave the B at 100. That is pure white. Let's OK that one, and if I move this aside, you can already see we've got a wonderful black and white monochrome image there. Now we're going to get really creative with the gradient editor. We're going to create a middle slider. Now if you can see where my mouse is, it's an arrow, then it's a hand, it's an arrow, then it's a hand. We need it to be a hand. Click to add stop right in the middle, and if your eyes are good, it should say location 50%. That means you're spot on right in the middle. If it's 49 or it's 51, then you need to buy some glasses. Okay, let's double click on the middle one. I don't know why I said that, because I'm actually wearing glasses. Let's alter the fields for this, so it's H233. S for saturation is 27. Look what's happening to the image. And in the final box for B for brightness, let's take that down to 74. Press OK. Now let's move that aside so you can see a little better, and there's our blue tone image. Fantastic. Now you could adjust that even more by adding a point here at 25 and a point here at 75, and making fine adjustments that suit your own tastes. For this particular instance, we're not going to do it. Let's move that aside, but please do feel free to experiment. That's the whole point of these tutorials. It shouldn't be exactly what we tell you. Go for it. Do something unique. Do something creative. Okay, right, now we're going to make that gradient. I'm going to call it blue tone. You see I'm naming it right here. I'm going to click new, and you can see it turns up right there. Here's the one I made earlier, blue tone, and here's the one I just made for the benefit of this video tutorial. So now I feel quite safe. I can actually go and click on one of these and click on that one to get black and white, click on that one to see nothing in particular. And because I've just made my new blue tone, I can go right back to it because it's right there, and I can use it for other projects. Let's click OK. Let's click OK. Oh, well, actually, see the preview tick here? You can actually go back to see your original image. Click the box again. There's your changes. Original changes. Let's click OK. We're happy with that for now. Okay, we're going to adjust the levels. We're almost there. So what we need to do is stay away from the clouds. If you see in the layers panel down here, click on the background. So we need to go right down to the background, and we need to create a new layer. But it's an adjustment layer. So we come down here, and we need to pick levels, and that will create an adjustment layer for us for the levels. Now here are the inputs. You can play around with these to your satisfaction, but the ones that we've found that work the best are 56, 0.85 in the middle box, and for the highlights, leave it exactly where it is. We've experimented a little with 227, found it was a little too bright, but 255 right at the right hand side is perfect. So 56, 0.85 and 255. Click OK on that, and now we need to click the clouds layer because we need to treat those slightly differently. Okay, click the clouds layer. We want a new layer on top of the clouds layer. Click OK, and make sure that your new layer is selected. Go for your paint bucket and fill it with white. So you need to adjust your palette down here, get rid of that nasty pink. I'm just going to 0, 0, 0 to get, oops, 100 I should say, to get pure white. That's okay that. So now my paint bucket is white. I'm just going to click this layer and fill it with white. Now here comes the clever bit. We need to go to filter, distort, lens correction. We're actually going to add a vignette to our image, but we're going to apply the vignette first to this very, very white layer. And here's where we do it. Over on the right hand side you'll notice there's a section called vignette, and what we need to do is to set the amount of vignetting all the way to minus 100, which should be absolutely on the left hand side. It's as far as you can go on the left hand side. Now that darkens and you can see the vignette now, and all we need to do is click OK. So because we're using blue tone, it's now turned out that it's blue rather than black. That's exactly what we want. Now here comes the fantastically magical bit. So if you go down to your layers palette, and you'll make sure you can see layers and normal, and what you need to do is use that drop down box, and instead of normal, go to multiply. Click multiply, and this is what happens. Fantastic. Do you see that? So you've applied your vignette around the edges of the photograph. Brilliant. Okay, now we're almost done. The very, very last thing to do is a little bit of sharpening. So we'll go to our filter, sharpen, and I'm a big fan of Smart Sharpen tool. A lot of people like to use the unsharp mask for absolute accuracy, but for this instance, Smart Sharpen is all you need. So let's open the Smart Sharpen box. Your defaults may actually be 50 for the amount and 1.0 for the radius, but we found that 60 right here, so you can move this slider from 50 to 60 for the amount, and your radius from the default of 1.0 if that's where you're at to 1.4, maybe 1.6. I'm going to stick with 1.4, and then press OK. Let the timer do its work, and we should have a nice sharp image without too much noise going on. I think that's quite nice. That's it, there we are, zoomed out, and that's it. Thank you very much for this following along with this tutorial for Digital Camera Magazine, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.